Hello, baseball fans. King Ikeboo coming to you live from the underground bunker deep beneath the University of Tuktoyaktuk, where we are once again playing the best and worst of the 80s project, massive project. We are approaching the halfway point as we are almost finished 1984. We're playing through the entire 1980s, playing every game manually using National Pastime 3. And we are documenting every game, and we're also talking about what's happening in the world each week of the season as well. And now we are near the end of the season, as I said, and we have a one-game anti-playoff game. What is an anti-playoff game? Let's look at the standings and see what I'm talking about. In the National League East, Montreal and New York are tied for last place with a record of 81 and 81, 7 games behind the first place Cardinals. It's hard to say, as the Cubs were very disappointing. The 84 Cubs finish tied for second place with Pittsburgh, of all people, for the National League East race. But we won't talk about that now, as I will be verklempt. But we're talking about the last place, Montreal and New York. And this project, it's the best and the worst. So the last place matters. The last place teams here in 1984, the San Francisco Giants, the Oakland Athletics, and the Milwaukee Brewers have already advanced to the Losers League. At the end of this project, 10 years or however long it takes to get to the end of this project, all the last place teams will be lumped into the Losers League, and they will see who is the loser of the 80s, the worst team of the 80s. And now we have, and also there's a anti-National League and anti-American League Championship Series and an anti-World Series to see who are the worst teams of 1984. For the National League East, the two candidates are Montreal and New York. They're tied for last place. How did we get here? Well, these two teams ended the season against each other. Montreal had a record of 78 and 80. Going into the last weekend of the season, and the Mets had a record of 80 and 79. The series took place at Olympic Stadium in Montreal, and Montreal needed to win 2 of 3 at least to stay alive out of the Losers League, to finish not in last place. And that's exactly what happened. In the first game, Calvin Schiraldi versus Joe Hesketh. Joe Hesketh pitched a masterpiece. He had a shutout going into the 9th inning, giving up only 3 hits for the game and 1 run, walked 2 and struck out 8, as the Montreal Expos won Game 1 4-1 over the Mets, and were only a half game behind the Mets to get out of last place. Then the Game 2, Walt Terrell versus Bryn Smith, and the Hawk did not want to play in the anti-postseason and the Losers League, as he hit a 3-run homer and was 2 for 4 as the Expos beat the Mets in game number 2 5-3 to go up out of last place by a half game over the Mets. And then in the final game, Ron Darling versus Bill Gullickson, Darryl Strawberry took the team on his back, and he went 3 for 5 with 2 homers and 5 RBIs as the Mets destroyed the Expos 9-1. So the season finished with the Expos half game ahead in last place over the Mets. You have to think of backwards. But because you cannot lose or win by a half game, that means that there was a game that was needed to be made up. So the Expos and the Cubs, they didn't play one game. They didn't make up the game. So Montreal had to leave Montreal, leaving the Mets behind in Montreal as they went across to Chicago to play the makeup game on October 1st. If Montreal would win this game, there would be a tie for last place. If the Expos lost this game, the season is over and the Expos were last place team and would go to the anti-postseason. But the Expos won 4-3, so that means the Mets and the Expos finished with an 81-81 record and will go to the one-game playoff, and that's what we're going to play here today. Now, the strange thing about this one-game playoff in Montreal, Montreal has the honor of hosting the game because they finished 11-7 against the Mets this season. The strange thing is this is the anti-playoff game. It's to see who's the worst team in the National League East, but we have the two best pitchers in baseball facing off in this game. Dwight Gooden and Charlie Lee. Charlie Lee has a 17-8 record this season with a 1.76 ERA. He leads the major leagues in ERA. He leads the major leagues in batting average against and whip as well. Dwight Gooden, as we'll see when we get to him, is leading in other categories. Oh, I hit this button. That means this is coming up. I always do this as I have all these go away. In my toolbar on the bottom here, the taskbar, and I hit the wrong one. I meant to hit this. So we will start. Dwight Gooden, let's see what he's done. He has a record. We're not going to add these up, but it's good. He has a whip of 1.05. He has an ERA of 2.45. He has 330 strikeouts in the season. So what we are going to declare here in this anti-playoff game, to see who gets to go home and relax and enjoy their lives, and see who doesn't, has to go into the anti-postseason, has to go into the Losers League and risk the chance of being the worst team of the 80s. These two great pitchers are going to face off. And we're going to see this today. This is the starting lineup for the visiting New York Mets. Leading off and playing second base, Wally Backman. Batting second, the center fielder. Excellent season, probably his best season in the major leagues, Mookie Wilson. Batting third, the first baseman, Keith Hernandez. Batting fourth, the left fielder, George Foster. Batting fifth, the right fielder, Darryl Strawberry. Batting sixth, the shortstop, Hubie Brooks. Batting seventh, the third baseman, Calvin Chapman. Batting eighth, the catcher, Mike Fitzgerald. And batting ninth, the starting pitcher, the rookie of the year, Dwight Gooden. For the hometown team, the Montreal Expos, putting up their best possible lineup here today. Leading off and playing center field, Rock, Tim Raines. Batting second, the second baseman, Brian Little. Batting third, the Hawk, right fielder, Andre Dawson. Batting fourth, this could be his final game if he wins today as a Montreal Expo, the catcher, Gary Carter. Batting fifth, the first baseman, Dan Dreesen. Batting sixth, the left fielder, Jim Wolford. Batting eighth, the man with the lowest batting average in the major leagues qualifier, Tim Wallach, the third baseman. Batting eighth, the shortstop. And they had a horrible revolving door. This is the best shortstop they've got, Rene Gonzalez. And batting ninth, the starting pitcher, Charlie Lee. And as I was saying, these are the two leading candidates for the National League Cy Young. And we are going to declare who wins this game is going to win the National League Cy Young. That's how we're going to decide it. It's so close between these two teams or these two pitchers. So we are going to declare the winner of this game will win the National League Cy Young Award. That's how much is on the line. Not only who avoids the Losers League and the anti-postseason, but also the winner will win the National League Cy Young Award. So let's get this one underway. We've done enough talking. We've done enough explaining. I hope you followed along. But leading off, Wally Backman. He had a season of .258 with a 333 on-base percentage, no homers, and 38 RBIs. And he had 44 stolen bases and 18 caught, and scored 74 runs for the Mets this season. He's leading off today against Charlie Lee, 17-8, 176 ERA. He has been the talk of the National League. Well, these two pitchers both have been the talk of the National League this season. Here they find themselves in this dubious game, the anti-playoff game. So here's Backman to lead off, and he flies out to left field. Next up is Mookie Wilson. In 639 plate appearances, he had 18 homers, 86 RBIs. He batted .266, .419 slugging percentage. What was it supposed to be? What did he have in real life? He only had 10 homers in real life, but he had 18 here in the replay. Seems like he hit so many home runs, key home runs for the Mets this season. He's batting second here today. Here's the pitch from Lee to Mookie Wilson. He grounds out to short. And here's Keith Hernandez, batted .308 with a .392 on-base percentage, .474 slugging, 17 homers, and 100 RBIs. In real life, he had 15 homers and 94 RBIs. So his slash line was pretty close to real life, but his production was better in the replay. And it just tells you how, I was going to say this before, how great the National League East was to have teams like this going up into the Losers League. One of these teams is going to be 81-82, which is by far the best record so far of any team in the Losers League. Previously, the best record was 1983. The New York Yankees had a 87-75 record, the same record they have this year, but they're fourth place. It was 75-87, I believe it was. That was a previous best of the losers. But now we're going to have even better record in the Losers League. The loser of this game is going to have the best record of 81-82. And that tells you how great great, but so good these teams are this season. The Cubs the only team they had a winning record with this year were the Cardinals. They struggled against these four teams, and that's why they're not here, because they struggled so mightily against the Pirates, against the Phillies, against the Expos, and against the Mets. So that's why they didn't finish first. But I'm rambling. So let's get to Keith Hernandez. And he gets on with a walk. So we have the first base runners, Keith Hernandez. That brings up George Foster, .256. with 25 homers and 104 RBIs. His real numbers for George Foster were 24 homers and 86 RBIs. So he is better than real life here in the replay. And I hit it again. I hit the Action PC once again. That's going to come up. I know it. Or did I not? Let's hope I didn't. Anyway, here's George Foster. And he's going to double, and he scores the run. Foster doubles in Keith Hernandez, who walked with 2 out. And that brings up the straw that stirs the Mets drink, the Darryl Strawberry, .284 batting average, .368 on base, .508 slugging with 28 homers and 101 RBIs. And he's better than real life. So if the Mets are all batting better than real life, why are they here? Gooden was better than real life. I think those Mets in 84 overachieved to get to 90 wins. And this like I said, this division was that tough. It was that hard to win. But anyway, here is Strawberry. See if he can drive in Foster from second. And he grounds out to Tim Wallach to end the inning. So now we're going to bring up Dwight Gooden. Dwight Gooden, 20-7 with 330 strikeouts. So let's look at what he had in real life. Dwight Gooden in real life was 17-9, .260 with 276 strikeouts. He was better in this replay. 20-7, .245 with 330 strikeouts. You can see why I'm saying you can't really tell which is the best pitcher here. Dwight Gooden dominated in power. He was he was the rookie. He's already the rookie of the year. He has 20 wins versus Lee's 17. Their whips are quite close, although Lee's is better. But he does not have the power of Gooden, obviously. So that their batting average against Gooden is slightly better. I was wrong. I said he had the best, but Gooden's is better. So you can't really tell. This is why this game will determine the Cy Young. But anyway, let's get on with it. Tim Raines leading off, 718 plate appearances, 354 batting average. Looking at the National League batting race. Tony Gwynn, 357. Tim Raines, 354. I don't know. It's possible if Raines goes like 4 for 4, he could pass Tony Gwynn yet for the batting title. This, as you know, playoff games count in the regular season standings. So Tim Raines still has a chance. Tim Raines had 86 stolen bases, only 10 caught. Had a fabulous season for the Montreal Expos. The problem is they had Raines, Dawson, and Carter all have excellent seasons and very little else. Dan Dreesen came over from Cincinnati and played well, but that was basically it. They had basically no offense besides these 3 guys all season long. So here's Tim Raines, and he's on with a base hit. He's going to try to steal. He steals second. So that brings up Brian Little, 260. No homers, 21 RBIs. He was a decent on-base percentage, but they didn't play him. They kept on putting out Flynn and guys like that instead of playing probably their best second baseman, Little. So I don't know what was going on there. Very frustrating. So here, let's see if Little can at least get the tying run to third base. He does. Here's Andre Dawson, 23 homers, 98 RBIs. 278. He's hoping to get to the 100 RBI mark here in this game, and it will start right here if he can get Raines in from third base with 1 out. And he doesn't. He strikes out. Here's Gary Carter, one of his best seasons, and his final season, as I said, in Montreal. 28 homers, 113 RBIs, 295. Let's see if he can drive in Raines. He strikes out. Gooden strikes out. Dawson and Carter to go to 332 strikeouts in this season. Here is Hubie Brooks. I don't know, Brooks, they should have played him at shortstop. They struggled at shortstop. Chapman is a decent third baseman. We'll see that. They would have been much better to put Hubie Brooks at short. But they didn't do that. And they left him at third most of this season. He had a good season, 284 with 22 homers and 83 RBIs. And that was much better than real life, as he had 1673. But in the replay, as I said, he was 2283. So a good season, but he's going to be going to Montreal next season, along with Mike Fitzgerald for Gary Carter. But here is the pitch to Hubie Brooks to lead off the second. Ground out. Kelvin Chapman batted .315. So they could have put him at third base all season, but they didn't do that. And he had only had 2 homers and 17 RBIs, although, but his slash line was very good. And he strikes out. Here's Mike Fitzgerald. He batted .256 with a homer and 31 RBIs. And he grounds out. Gooden goes down to a B. Here's Dan Dreesen. He had .299 batting average with 13 homers and 58 RBIs between Cincinnati and Montreal. Most of it was in Cincinnati. And he strikes out. Third strikeout for Gooden. Here's Jim Wolford, batted .321. They should have played him more with 6 homers and 23 RBIs. And he grounds out to second baseman. Here's Tim Wallach, barely over the Mendoza line. He had a good final few games. Oh, that's the wrong one. He batted .212 in the last 10 games to get over the Mendoza line. But and batted .257 in September. But you can see here, the first 5 months, 4 of the 5, he was below 200. Just a dreadful season for Wallach. Hopefully it gets better I think it does, in the last part of the 80s. And he strikes out. 4th strikeout for Gooden. And here's Gooden to lead off the 3rd inning. Batted .184 with a homer and 5 RBIs. And he gets a base hit. And he's a fast runner. He has the best chance of getting the run. He's a fast runner. Here's Wally Backman. He lined out or flied out to left first time up. And he flies out. Here's Mookie Wilson. He flies out. Keith Hernandez. And we won't take him out. No, we don't pay attention to that injury stuff. He's in the game. Here's Rene Gonzalez. 47 plate appearances. He was the best. Look at the guys that they had. Other guys they played. They had like Doug Flynn. Most of the time they played this Angel Salazar, who was just dreadful. 181 batting average. I don't know why they played him. 200 plate appearances. Very frustrating. Who else did they have there? I think they got rid of, Chris Spire. Chris Spire, I think, played for 4 different teams in 1984, if I remember right. But here he is, the best of the worst, Rene Gonzalez. Oop, can't get out of this. Okay, here we go. Oh, let's hit the roll dice. There we go. He gets on with an error. And Charlie Lee is going to bunt. He only batted 100 during the season. And a pass ball. So he's going to bunt now again. Will he get the Vance the runner? He does! Tim Raines. Okay, no strikeout. Let's get the tying run here. They're going to bring the infield in. That's how confident they are of Gooden. They don't want this run to score. And he sacrificed. He took the hit away because he's so awesome. But Raines still got him in with the sacrifice fly. And we're tied at 1. 2 out now for Brian Little. And he is going to fly out to end the inning. But after 3 complete, here in the 1-game playoff, the score is New York 1, Montreal 1. Here's George Foster. He doubled and drove in a run in the first inning. He drove in Keith Hernandez. He grounds out to Little to start the 4th. Here's Strawberry. He grounded out to Wallach first time up. And he grounds out to Gonzalez for the 2nd out here in the 4th. Here's Hubie Brooks. And he grounds out to the pitcher to end the 4th. Now brings up Andre Dawson. He struck out first time with a runner on 3rd. And he strikes out again. Strikeout number 5 for Dwight Gooden. Here's Gary Carter. He gets a base hit. Got to take chances. He's going to try to steal. Doesn't get the jump. He's a slow runner. Here's Dan Dreesen. They have a lot of slow runners here in the bottom of the lineup. He struck out first time up. And he walks. 2 men on. We're going to put the brakes on Gary Carter. We don't want him to get thrown out the plate. Wolford. He grounded to second base. Backman first time up. Can they get something going here? Got 2 men on. No, 1 out. And he flies out. Can take the brakes off. See if Tim Wallach can do something with 2 out here. Way underperformed his real-life numbers. Dreadfully. 1466, 201, 276, 329. In real life, 246, 311, 395 with 18 homers and 72. Just terrible. One of the reasons why the Expos are in this position is Tim Wallach. Let's see if he can make up for it right now. Big pitch to Tim Wallach. And he gets 4-4, which should be a base hit, but the great Gooden takes it away and ends the inning. Through 4 complete, your score from Montreal is the New York Mets 1 and the Expos 1. Here's Kelvin Chapman. He struck out first time up. And he walks. Ooh, it's almost a 50-50 chance he will not try to steal. Brings up Fitzgerald. He grounded to Wallach first time up. And he is going to strike out. Brings up Gooden. He will not try to steal again. Will bring on the bunt. And he sacrifices successfully to bring up Wally Backman with 2 out. In a key 2 out with a runner in scoring position situation. Charlie Lee with his 1.76 ERA. Can he come through here? And he does. He flies out to center field. Andre Dawson it's Raines in center field today. Makes the play for the out to end the Mets' 5th inning. Here's Rene Gonzalez, the bottom of the lineup. He strikes out. Strikeout number 6 for Gooden. Charlie Lee. He strikes out. Strikeout number 7. And Tim Raines. He flies out. He doesn't strike out very easily. He flies out to Strawberry to end the 5th. Through 5 innings, we're still 1-1. Here's Mookie Wilson. He is 0 for 2. 0 for 3. Grounds out to the pitcher, Keith Hernandez. He walked and scored and ground to a fielder's choice. He is 0 for 1. And he has a chance for an error. No error. He fouls out to Wallach for the 2nd out. Here's Foster. Flies out to right. So after 5.5, it's still 1-1. Here's Brian Little. He is 0 for 2. He walks. He will not try to steal in front of the big boys. Dawson struck out twice. Ground out this time. Runner to second. At least he advances the runner. Here's Gary Carter. 1 for 2. Key situation here in the 6th inning. Runner in scoring position. Here's the pitch. Should have been a hit, but the great Gooden takes it away and Little advances to third. Dreesen, he's walked and struck out. And he grounds out to end the inning. Promising inning, but nothing because of Gooden's great pitching. We're still 1-1 after 6 innings. Here's Strawberry. He is 0 for 2. He ground to third and ground to short. He's due for a home run. Let's see if he can do it. No, he grounds to short again. Hubie Brooks. He walks. Will not try to steal. He's a slow runner. Kelvin Chapman, he walked last time up. And he has a chance for an error. No error. Well, no, he still won't try to steal. But we put the brakes on so he doesn't get thrown out of the third. That's very frustrating when there's 2 out and the guy tries for third and gets thrown out. So he's going to get the brakes put on him. Here's Fitzgerald. He's 0 for 2. Great pitching matchup. Strikeout to end the 7th for the Mets. We're still 1-1. Here is the bottom of the lineup. Wolford, Wallach, and Gonzalez to face the mighty Gooden. He's still a B. He has 7 strikeouts for 337 strikeouts. Here is Wolford again. He's 0 for 2. And he got double ones. Okay, so Gooden, he has an H. So he does all this, strikes out everybody, and he limits home runs as well. So even if we roll an 11, even if we roll a 15, a 22, does not mean it's an automatic home run. As Gooden takes away 2/3 of all home runs hit. So let's see what the roll will be. 33. That is a possible home run. And Wolford does not nullify any home runs. So here we go. What a roll this is. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 11-46. Gooden will eliminate the home run. His voodoo will bring the ball back in Olympic Stadium, back into the playing field for a double. But if we roll a 51 or higher, the voodoo does not work. And the ball will leave Olympic Stadium and the Expos will take the lead. So here's a huge roll here. 35. The voodoo works. He brings it back into the playing surface for a double. And Wolford is at second. But what we're going to do here. Wolford, thank you for what you have done today. But we're going to bring in Miguel Delaunay, the great runner, the fast runner. He is going to come and pinch run for Wolford. He is an incredible fast runner. We're going to go for it here. And he's going to stay in the game and play left field. Wallach. He's going to try to advance this runner any way he can. And he doesn't. He hits it the wrong way, for one thing, and he flies out. Delaunay does not have a chance to advance. Rene Gonzalez. He's caught stealing third. He tries to steal and gets caught. Oh, Gooden's supposed to be easy to run on. But not this time. He pays attention. The runner's ahead of him. I guess that's why. And he gets thrown out at third. So 2 out now. The gamble does not pay off. And he strikes out to end the inning. 8th strikeout for Gooden. Gooden staying in the game. He's still a B runner. Or B pitcher. Lee is still a C. So he's staying in. And he walks. Gooden walks. And he's fast once again. Backman. Fielder's choice. He's going to try to steal. Does not get the jump. He's a fast runner. Mookie Wilson. Fielder's choice. He's a fast runner. 41 or less, he will steal. And he gets the stolen base. So Mookie Wilson, fast runner for Keith Hernandez. And Charlie Lee is tired. He's given up a run, so he can be pulled. That's the King Ikeboo rules. If he's pitching a shutout, he cannot be pulled. But he has given up his run. And right back there in the 1st inning, he gave up that run. Keith Hernandez scoring on the double by Foster with 2 out. So now Lee is coming out. The runner's available. I did not announce. So any runner available that has innings left in this season is available. Brining has 2. Grapin Thin 3. James 19 innings left. Schatzer has 8 and St. Clair 3. Reardon is closer only because he has no innings left. But the closer always is available, but he's only available for a closer situation. So we will bring in we could do a double switch, but we don't want to take Gonzalez out of the game because he's the only shortstop worth talking about. So we're going to bring in someone in just for this inning. And we're going to save St. Clair and place this inning because he has the eye. I like the eye. He has a Z, double Z and an eye. That's good peripheral ratings. Schatzeder has a horrible L. That means he gives up more home runs than normal. He might be good, though, to bring in because he's 11-3. Who else? James, I want to save him. Grape and Thin. He might be okay to bring in. Brining. Oh, he's good. But I don't want to bring him in just for one batter. So I think we're going to bring in Schatzeder. Dan Schatzeder coming into the game to face the left-hander, Keith Hernandez, with 2 out. We got to get this one runner. Then he can go and hit the showers. Although he's a good hitter, if I remember right. Yes, he is. He's going to stay in and pinch hit for himself. He's going to hit for himself. So we brought in the right guy because he can hit. Okay, but we have to get this runner out. Don't worry about the bat. Worry about the pitching. Get Keith Hernandez out. Here's the pitch to Keith Hernandez. He strikes him out to end the 8th. And we're still 1-1. Gooden still in the mound. And Schatzer, as we've said, is a good hitter. Although he only batted .280. That's not bad for a pitcher. But his on base was .288 when it should have been .351. So he underperformed like most of the Expo hitters in 1984. So here, let's see if he can make up for it now. Here's the pitch to Schatzeder. He gets a base hit. He is a S, though. So we are going to put the brakes on. We don't want him to take some unnecessary chances. Here's Tim Raines. He is singled and stole a base. And then he drove in a run on the sacrifice fly and flied out last time up. So he's officially 1 for 2. Here is the pitch to Tim Raines. He advances the runner. Once again, or should we take a chance? We'll get this great. It's 50-50. He's going to be thrown out at home or he's going to score with that S. We got so many pitchers. We can bring someone in for pinch running. Francona is not available. He's injured. Oh, they're all slow. Except for Wallace Johnson, he's average. Tom Lawless, he's fast. Average, slow. Angel Salazar, he's the backup shortstop. Stenhouse, Venable. Should we bring in? We got to do it. We can't leave a slow runner. We've got lots of pitchers. Tom Lawless is coming in to pinch run. All right. What? Because the run would be huge at this point with the bottom of the 8th. Brian Little up. He's walked. He's flied to center. Grounded to third. Can he do something here? Here's the pitch to Brian Little. Sometimes when you look up stuff, it doesn't let you just hit the hotkey. So you got to hit the roll dice button manually. He singles and scores. And the S would have been out at home. So that paid off. Great managing by King Ikeboo here for the Expos. Brian Little is the hero. So far. I know there's an inning to play. He is not going to try to steal. But he drives in the go-ahead run of Dwight Gooden. Now Dwight Gooden is tired. So they're going to bring in a pitcher for Gooden. They have so many good relievers here. Sisk is good. I remember he's pretty good. Yeah, 15-2. The WW is not good, but the H is good. So Doug Sisk will come into the game at this point. He is 5-3 with a 2.42 ERA and a 173 batting average against. But the damage is done. The Expos take the lead in the bottom of the 8th thanks to Brian Little. Here's Andre Dawson. He is 0 for 3. And he strikes out for the 3rd time in the game. Little will not steal. Gary Carter. He is singled, struck out, and ground to the pitcher. And he flies out. But the damage was done as the Expos take the lead 2-1. Now, this is the time for Jeff Reardon. This is not automatic. You think Jeff Reardon automatic. He has been dreadful this season. He's been better lately. Okay? He had a decent second half. August 1.71 ERA, September 2.20 ERA. But in July and May, he was completely awful and had 11 blown saves. I don't think he's had many blown saves lately, but he, like I said, was terrible. And one of the reasons why the Expos fell so fast in the first half of the season, because of Jeff Reardon. Overall, 4-9 with a 4.36 ERA, when in real life he should be 2.90. He has been horrible, but we'll forget everything if he can get 3 more outs in this game. He is facing the heart of the lineup, George Foster, Darryl Strawberry, and Hubie Brooks. So let's see what Jeff Reardon can do. Foster's up first. He's doubled in the only Met run and then grounded to second and flied out to right in this game. 1 for 3. Here's Foster. And Reardon takes away the hit. It should have been a hit, but he takes it away. Great pitching by Reardon. And 1 out. If he was only a C pitcher, he would have allowed that hit. But because he's a B, he took it away. Great pitching by Reardon. Here's Strawberry. 0 for 3. Grounded to third. Grounded to short. Grounded to short. Disappointing here in this huge game. Will the Mets be the one? A 90-win team in real life will be in the Losers League. Unless Strawberry and Brooks do something, that's what's going to happen. He strikes him out. Reardon making up for a horrible season. But it's still 1 batter to go. Hubie Brooks, who will be an Expo next season. Will he put a dagger in his future team now? He is 0 for 2 with a walk. He gets a base hit to keep his team alive. And he's coming out of the game for a pinch runner. We've seen how pinch runners have helped. We'll bring in Danny Heap. We want somebody who actually plays third base, if possible. Although we can move Hubie Brooks to third. Kevin Mitchell, he's slow. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to bring in Jose Kendo. He is a shortstop. And if the inning continues, or the game continues, he will come in shortstop. And no, he is playing a shortstop already. Okay, I thought of putting... It was a brain fart there because I thought I was going to put Hubie Brooks at third, but he's out of the game now. Jose Kendo, can he steal? He can steal. So he's going to try to steal here, and he does not get the jump. So that would have been huge if he was able to steal. But here's Kelvin Chapman. He's walked, struck out, and flied to left. 2 outs. Fast runner on first base. A double will score him. Jeff Reardon on the mound. What's going to happen? He grounds to the pitcher. Game is over and the Expos win. Expos are not the worst team in the division. The New York Mets are the anti-National League East champions as they lose the game 2-1 in an exciting ball game. And as we said, because Charlie Lee is the winner. No, he's not. He didn't even get the win, but he pitched marvelously. 7 2/3 inning, only 2 hits allowed, 1 earned run. That's Charlie Lee's season. I mean, when you have a 1.74 ERA, 235 innings pitched, you should have 20 wins easily. But his run support was dreadful. He did not get the run support today, but it's understandable because he was facing Dwight Gooden, who had a marvelous game, but takes the loss on an unearned run. He struck out only 8. That's not his typical. He's got 16 strikeouts, I think, 3 times in this season. At least 3 times. But he gets the loss today and he loses the Cy Young. The Cy Young goes to Charlie Lee. The Expos get to go home. The New York Mets have to host the San Francisco Giants in the anti-National League Championship Series. And the other anti-American League Championship Series, the Milwaukee Brewers host the Oakland A's. So what happens now? There's only several games left. Houston Astros and San Diego Padres are tied with 3 games left. The Padres play the Reds and... No, they play... Who would they play? Let's see. What games are left? Look at all National League games left. Yeah, the games left is this. So the Padres play the Braves and the Astros play the Reds. They're tied for first place. This will deter. We could have another 1-game playoff and I'll be seeing you again soon, but that's to be determined. Anyway, once again, the final score today in the anti-playoff game, the Montreal Expos get to go home. Their season is over with a 2-1 victory over the New York Mets. And the Mets continue on in the anti-postseason. Hope you enjoyed today's ball game. This is King Ikibu signing off. Goodbye, everybody.